Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea. If you are new here, if you're not new, what's up? Thanks for coming. Feel free to leave in the comments below that you're new. I love that. I love to just shake you and harass you and aggressively welcome you to my channel. Today we are going to take a look at some of the similarities between MLMs and cults. You heard me right. I said cults. I know y'all might think I am just exaggerating, being a little bit crazy, and just aggressive when I say that a lot of MLMs have a cult culture, but it's true. Whenever I heard anyone say it, I thought it was weird, but it's not. It's the truth. It's literally right there for you. So today we're going to be diving into that. Yes, I am focusing more on Monat, Modern Nature, that MLM, because it seems like they just are the most guilty of it. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, whatever you want. I've already had 1 cup of coffee, 2 cups, but I'm just drinking tea now. And now just a quick little disclaimer. If you are in an MLM and you are watching this, if you're in Monat and you're watching this is not an attack on you. Let me say that again. This is not an attack on you. I don't know you. You don't know me. If you're successful with it, if you don't manipulate people, if you don't feed into this type of culture, that's fine. Live your life. Am I trying to tell you what to do with your life? No, I'm not. I create this type of content in order to educate people. I share facts and I show you the information that's already there. However, you might not know where to look for it. All of my sources will be linked down below. Again, this is not a direct attack on anyone specifically in an MLM. All opinions are my own. Everything that I've posted is able to be used under fair use. Okay, that's it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this first one is real hilarious. I had everyone and their mom send it to me, and I just think it's real funny. So let's just let it go. And I'll have to take out the music just because I'm not trying to get like a copyright strike. Okay, so it's that one Taylor Swift love story song. And the caption says, "How we honor doing $10 million in sales in 24 hours. I'll just let that go up over again. She's holding their new Skin Veil SPF thingy. Anyways, okay, so living for, digging, and loving the post-apocalyptic like fashion vibes. Love it so much. That's actually my jam. However, having said that, a point that's like really, really important to make, and this is a perfect example of it, is that the distributors for these MLMs are the customers. They're making all of their money, a large, huge portion of it, the majority of their money, internally from the distributors, from the employees. That happens a lot in a cult. They're not really selling, a service or anything to anyone outside of it. It's all the people with inside of it. Okay. So like we've talked about before, a closed market versus an open market. Now, another thing that I want to make clear is that she said the first 24 hours from that product launch. Now that product apparently, allegedly, supposedly, was not available to the public within the first 24 hours. This is only available to market partners. So it's like, why are you celebrating that Monat just made $10 million off of y'all? Like, do you not see that you are the customer? Like, what are you doing? So I'm in sales. Whenever the company I work for, or even whenever I hit a goal, like I'll go into my husband's man cave, or like call him in here and I'll like high five him or force him to high five me and be like, I just hit my sales goal. Like, that's exciting. Or I might like post a little picture on my story and be like, I did it. That's rare. And then if my company has a day where, if we do like $1 million plus or something, which that's kind of like the norm, but if we do like $1 million plus or like 1.5 million or like something over that for one day, that's pretty great. Little emails might be sent around like, oh my gosh, it's so great. Good job, blah, blah, like we killed it. Let's do it again tomorrow. But we're not making Instagram reels and having like these parties and like bragging about it to other people. It's just very tacky. I don't like it. That topic of like being tacky and flashy, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. Okay, that specific one had just like cult vibes written all over it. Okay, now this one is from Ed Milet. And he is a motivational speaker. I haven't filmed in so long, I like don't even know how to talk. So he's a motivational speaker and like an author and like a Tony Robbins type. And this is what he was saying during their Monation's like annual convention thingy.
There's probably 10 years ago, you probably thinking, you know what I'm going to be? I'm in a business just like this business. Probably not. But some of the greatest things in our lives show up in packages that look completely different than we think we want. And they change our lives. And that's why sometimes recruiting is difficult, because we're like, I don't want to do that. That's not me. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to talk to my friends and family, whatever it might be. They don't realize their dream lies inside this package in Monat. It lies in the package, because in that gift is the gift of serving people, making a difference, playing on a great team, being a part of something important. And so I want to take you through some of the keys in doing that. So I'm going to tell you, one of the keys, I want you to take a look at this slide right now and tell me what you think these people have in common. Steve Jobs, Ed Milet, Oprah Winfrey. Take a look at the different people on that slide. Then take a look at the next slide for me. See the faces on there. The Rock, right? What does The Rock have in common with Mother Teresa? What do all of these people have in common? Let me tell you what it is. They are evangelical about their cause and their mission in their life. All great leaders are evangelical about their cause. They've got this evangelist way about them where they evangelize to people how amazing what they're doing is. That's what they all have in common. All great leaders. If you're going to become a great leader in this organization and develop great leaders, you must become more evangelical about your cause. See, every once in a while you're going to get asked by somebody, is this a cult? And you know what you should be saying to them? You've all been asked it before. You say, no, but I sure wish it was, because all great businesses have a cult-like following. Apple has a cult-like following, doesn't it? Apple has a cult-like following. Starbucks has a cult-like following. People will line up outdoors to get into that cult and get their coffee and that music and that vibe. All great movements have kind of a cult-like quality, a religious type quality, because there's led by an event.
Okay, so first and foremost, I have a lot of notes for that one, as you can imagine. But one, he included himself on the slides of those people, which I thought was really? You're gonna put yourself on the same slide as The Rock and Mother Teresa and all these other people? What are you doing? So I'm going a little bit ahead and I have a bunch of other bullet points, but he says the word evangelical a million times. Now, usually cults have that type of aspect to it, or the leader of them. And he's saying if you want to be a good leader, you have to be evangelical. Evangelical, yes, the definition of it, which I was just looking up, is of or according to the teachings of the gospel or the Christian religion. And the way that this guy is using it, it's not really meaning of a religion, but meaning you have to be so passionate about what you are talking about your organization, about the journey, about the opportunity, you have to talk about it like it is the gospel, you believe in it that much. And just that right there, I feel, it's my opinion, I just feel that's so dangerous. That's so creepy. Another thing that he said was, you want to be a part of something important. How is selling shampoo, wellness powders, and skincare important? You don't work for a nonprofit. You're not doing charity work. You're selling a product and recruiting people. That's what you're doing. And then also, though, that goes into the whole cult culture, though, as well, is making people feel like they are a part of something important. And then how he says, you've been asked it before. People will ask you, is this a cult? Never in my life have I ever been a part of an organization, a business, an employer, a workplace, anything that has ever been accused of being a cult. That should be your first red flag. And then he says Apple and Starbucks have a cult-like quality. And I want to make it clear that there is a huge difference between having a cult-like following or a cult-like quality and having excitement and hype built around the organization or a movement or a product. The only people that are getting really excited about these Monat launches and stuff like that, or any MLM launch, are the people within the MLM. So let's go ahead and go over 10 signs that you may be in a cult. So number 1, the leader is the ultimate authority. And now it may be the CEO or your upline or your upline's upline, or the top performer or the top earners. No matter who it is, you can't criticize them or question what they're doing, or you feel like you can't. Number 2, the group or MLM, organization, whatever, suppresses skepticism. So you're most likely only learning about your MLM or MLMs in general by that MLM approved or upline approved sources. Now, cults view critical thinking as infectious as a disease. Who needs to think for themselves or actually know the history of MLMs and pyramid schemes and the FTC and all that when you can just spout out whatever rebuttal your upline tells you to? Number 3, delegitimizing opposing ideas, thoughts, and former members. Now, this also ties into kind of the anti-MLM community as well. Now, this is going to be a little test. Ready? If you can't think of a reason for you to leave your MLM, you're probably in a cult. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, like, everything perfect. It's fine. I don't want to leave. There's no reason for me to leave, so why would I? That's not exactly what I'm saying, though. For instance, I love my employer. I love my job so much. I have not been this happy, like, with the work aspect and the professional aspect of my life for, good God, since 4 or 5 years. So happy. Love it so much. My manager is the jam. I love my team. Yeah, I don't want to leave, but I would if I could be promised not working on the weekends, working 8 to 4:30 every day, or like a little bit flexibility there would be fine. I don't care. But basically not working weekends and making the same amount of money or more and working from home. That's a reason that I would leave. But now if you can't think of a reason for you to leave your MLM and there's no reason you would ever leave it, you're probably in a cult. Probably in a cult. You're in a cult. Call your dad. Number 4, toxic positivity and love bombs. Now you might be thinking, being overly positive, nothing like super horrible with that. And having people just like be super nice to you and tell you all these nice things, that's not that bad either. However, it is a huge manipulation tactic when these people don't know you. You just joined their team. They're going all over your Instagram and all over your social media and telling you how beautiful you are and how much you love you and blah, 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 blah. And that is a huge manipulation tactic to get you to stay and to have you just feel like, oh my gosh, this community is amazing, especially if you haven't received that before. Getting the attention. Everyone likes that. Mostly everyone likes that, especially when it's from your upline and people who, are very successful in the business. Sorry if the lighting's changing. I feel like the sun's going down. Or it's golden hour outside or something. It looks beautiful. Anyways, number 5, community. This community of women, and we grow and we're positive and blah, 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 blah. If the majority of the people in your life you're surrounding yourself with are in the MLM that you're in, chances are you're in a cult. Now, the reason why I think that is so dangerous is because it just seeps into every aspect of your life. Like your employer, and I say this all the time and y'all know it, but your employer, your job should not be every part of your life. Like that's not, then if you leave the MLM or you leave the employer, you don't have that aspect of your life anymore, you have nothing. And that brings us to the point of if you are scared to leave the MLM because you don't want to lose the friends and the family and the community you've made, you're most likely definitely in a cult. Just because you leave an employer or you decide, hey, this isn't for me anymore, or, I'm getting too busy, or, I got a better job opportunity, something, that doesn't mean that people should cut you off and never talk to you again. It doesn't mean you hate them. That's so crazy. I've worked for many employers, made many friends, and I'm still friends with them even if I leave the company. It doesn't matter. They would rather you just associate with people who are like-minded and also have the blinders on. Does your MLM put a lot of emphasis on personal development? Well, guess what? That probably means you're in a cult. Don't get me wrong. Developing yourself personally, whatever the hell personal development even means, setting goals for yourself, keeping yourself accountable, learning new things, all that. That's great. Do it, sure. But when it comes to MLMs, and you'll see this so much, they read self-help books. They, are just all about the self-help and the improving themselves. That's great. Do it, but you don't have to do that within an MLM. You can just do that yourself. I work on personal development and I set goals and I keep myself accountable and I try to better myself and I meditate and I do all that. I'm not in an MLM, but while you're working on yourself, it's just another way for them to keep you within the MLM because now you owe this MLM so much because you'd be lost without it. You owe it so much. You were nothing. It's helped your confidence, all this stuff. And the MLM didn't do that. You doing the personal development did. You did that. You put in that work. And did it really help with your confidence just because a bunch of people were commenting and giving you attention? No, that doesn't work on your confidence. Confidence comes from within. Confidence doesn't come from comments on your Instagram. That is a goosebumps walk away right there. Sometimes I've got them zingers. Number 7, conformity. If you are being told to look like everyone else, to use the same filters, to post all the same shit, you might be in a cult. It's always the same white hair, orange skin. filters and all the same like pre-made things. It's so weird. Just because you do the same thing for a living doesn't mean you have to look like each other. And is that aesthetic like super pleasing? I don't think so. Clearly I'm not like their demographic though. Number 8, us versus society, or us versus them. If you've been taught that people around you, your family, your friends, whoever, that they aren't supporting you and that you need to cut them off just because they aren't buying from your MLM or supporting your business, or if they're questioning it, or if they disagree with MLMs, or if they say, hey, you joined a cult, if you're being told to cut them off because of that, you're probably in a cult. Number 9, clothing and tattoos. I feel like I don't even have to say anything for this one. Like, why? Why are y'all wearing Monat stuff all the time? Again, any MLM could do it, but like they are the most culty. Why are y'all wearing that constantly? You realize you're just giving the company more money, right? You know it's embarrassing, right? Like, ugh, it's so cringy. Oh God. And then also I've seen multiple girls on Instagram that have incorporated the Monat logo into their tattoos. Why are you branding yourself? Like, what are you doing? You are literally branding yourself. That's the sign of a cult. What are you doing? And finally, number 10, if your MLM pushes and pushes and emphasizes and pushes recruiting and inviting other people to the opportunity, and you just want to help them, you just want to share the opportunity and the journey and the message and this revolution in this life, then you need to pick up your phone and call your dad, because you're in a cult. I feel like I just go on and on. Number 11, if the business or organization, whatever that you're involved with, has ever been accused of being a cult, you're probably in a cult. I wonder how I could report Monat for being a cult. I probably can't do that on the FTC. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave in the comments below if you're in a cult. Or your horror stories, anything like that. I love to hear those. Be nice. Don't be rude to people. Educate, don't hate. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram at CCSUAREZ. I love talking to y'all on there. It's like my favorite thing ever. And I will see y'all in my next video that I'm actually about to film right now. So like, subscribe, comment, follow, all that, applaud, whatever you want. And I'll see you later. Bye.